Good morning, Read 180 students. Today is Thursday, May 14th, and we're going to continue with our study from the lottery in Workshop 3. So you'll need your real books, and we'll be working on pages 156 and 157 for today. Now, if you notice at the top of page 157, you'll see the type of writing. Actually, this is going to be an excerpt, which means it's going to be parts, sections from her lecture, meaning Shirley Jackson's lecture, from the biography of a story. Now remember, the lottery was a short story that was actually published in a magazine called The New Yorker. And what we're going to do today is we're going to find out what some of the reactions were from the people who had read the short story and the reactions of Shirley Jackson. So again, we're going to do some analyzing. What did the text clearly say, and what are some inferences about what the text does not clearly say? So again, like we did earlier, we're going to look at two vocabulary words before we start. On page 156. And again, at any point you can pause the recording so you can finish the examples. I'll give you the meanings and one example of how it is used in context, and then you'll be able to answer the two questions on page 156. Our first word is base, or based on, and that is a verb or an action word. And the definition or the meaning of base is to create something using an existing idea. An example would be, I heard about a movie that is based on Cinderella. You will finish this next example. On what book or story that you've read would you base a movie? Our second word is current, and current is an adjective or a describing word. And current, the definition or meaning is happening now or in the present time. And an example that I would use current in a sentence would be, what is the current topic of study in our class? You will complete the example next. What's a good way to keep up with current events? Go ahead and finish that sentence starter. Now I'm going to move over to page 157 for just a second so you can see what the key idea says. So as we are reading, I want you to be able to look for evidence, look for information that will help you answer the key idea question, which is, why did many New Yorker readers write to Shirley Jackson? Okay, back to page 156. I'll read it aloud and you can follow along. The biography of a story by Shirley Jackson. Shirley Jackson's short story, The Lottery, was published in the New Yorker magazine on June 26, 1948. When it ran, the magazine did not say whether the story was a work of fiction or nonfiction. Readers were confused. Was the story about a real event? They wrote to Jackson demanding an explanation. In a lecture titled The Biography of a Story, Jackson shared excerpts or parts from some of the letters. Here's what Jackson had to say. People at first were not so much concerned with what the story meant. What they wanted to know was where these lotteries were held and whether they could go there and watch. Listen to these quotations. Now on this next page, you're going to be seeing excerpts. Again, an excerpt is just pieces that are taken from an entire work of writing. So top of page 157. Where in heaven's name does there exist such barbarity as described in the story? Oregon. Do such tribunal rituals still exist, and if so, where? New York. Although we recognize the story to be fiction, is it possible that it is based on fact? Nevada. I am interested in learning if there is any particular source or group of sources of fact or legend on which and from which the story is based. This story has caused me to be particularly disturbed by my lack of knowledge of such rights or lotteries in the United States. Brooklyn, New York. It seems like I remember reading somewhere a long time ago that there was a custom in a certain part of France some time ago. However, I have never heard of it being practiced here in the United States. However, would you please inform me where you got your information and whether or not anything of this nature has been perpetrated in modern times? California. Are you describing a current custom? Pennsylvania. So what was Jackson's reactions to the letters? If I thought this was a valid cross-section of reading public, she said, I would give up. All right, so now what we're going to have you do is go to page 157, answer your key idea question. Okay, now your assignment for today, you'll notice on the left-hand side I have it outlined in order. Now, independently, you're going to reread paragraphs 3 through 8 to find text evidence so you can answer the question in the Making Inferences section, which says, why does Shirley Jackson say she would give up writing if the letters represented a cross-section of the reading public? Now, if underneath, I just kind of put a little talking point. So as we reread the comments from the readers, we can just see how strongly people believe that the events in the lottery might be real. So can you imagine how Jackson, who actually made up the events of the story, must have felt? It's just something to think about when you answer this question. Jackson says she would give up writing because, okay? And again, remember, you want to find evidence to show why you think that way or why you answered it that way. And then the last thing you're going to do is the react and write. So imagine yourself as a reader of the New Yorker in 1948. Would you have thought the lottery was a true story? Why or why not? Now make sure you defend your opinion with evidence. So either I would have thought it was true because, or you'll answer I would have not because. So again, as long as you have, this is an opinion question, as long as you support your opinion, make sure you defend it with evidence. Now once you've completed pages 156 and 157, again I'm going to have you take a picture of it and we will have you submit it in Google Classroom. All right, just wanting to let you know once again, I think you guys are doing a great job. Some of you are knocking it out of the park, which it's really fun to see that this is working for you. Again, if you have any questions, you know you can reach out to me via email. I will be working in the classroom today, so I will be at school if you want to give me a call as well. All right, take care. Have a good day.